Hello, good evening. A very warm welcome to our Causeway Virtual Awards 2020. In these difficult times, I hope you're staying safe and taking care. My name is Jerry McDade. I'm your MC for the evening. If you were in Glasgow last year, you'll have seen and heard the same patter from me that you're going to hear tonight as well. Yes, last year we were in Glasgow, Kelvin Grove Art Gallery Museum, had a fantastic night. I seem to remember confidently signing off saying, we'll see you all next year at the M8 in Edinburgh. However, certain things have overtaken us this year with the pandemic, which means it's a Thursday night. I'm walking about in the spare room dressed as James Bond, and my wife's watching Emmerdale next door. However, it's great to see you all here, and I welcome you to this celebration tonight, because this is what we're all about tonight. We're going to celebrate, we're going to connect, and we're going to network. However, a little bit of housekeeping for you first of all. The session is being recorded, and you are on mute to begin with. However, we'll be getting into the celebration, we'll be getting into the laughter, we'll be getting into all the connecting, and at that point you'll be invited to take yourself off mute. Connections are what the heart of Causeway is all about. This is what we do here. We network, and we'll be networking tonight in what are called breakout rooms. It's an exotic sounding name, but basically it means you'll be at your table talking to 5 or 6 people, chatting and connecting as small groups. When you do that, we will be telling you to come off mute and to turn your video on as well. There's a chance for you to make comments in our chat box. You'll see that coming up as well. However, just ahead of the awards, you'll be hearing representatives of the Scottish and Irish government, and later on you'll be hearing words from our sponsors, Money Corp and Enterprise Ireland. Of course, it wouldn't be an event like this unless we were supporting a charity. That's a very, very big factor of what the Causeway Awards are all about. And this year the chosen charity is Samaritans Ireland and Samaritans Scotland. My job is to fleece you in the nicest possible way, but to fleece you. 2020 has been very, very challenging, so please give generously. You'll just have seen the link come up. There's a chance to make some pledges in the chat box as well. Before passing you on to the chair host of Causeway, David Greenlees, I just want to say to you, enjoy the evening, be prepared to network, and if you fancy having a small libation in your hand, feel free to do so. Could I also ask you as well to tweet hashtag Causeway Awards as often as you can. If you get any photographs and you want to put them up on social media, then I would also ask you to put that hashtag Causeway Awards up also. And I now call upon the host chair, Mr. David Greenlees.
Jerry, thank you very much. Consul General, members and guests, welcome to the Causeway Annual Reception 2020. Celebrating the unique relationship between Scotland and the island of Ireland. We're doing business, making connections and sharing opportunities is our core focus. My sincere thanks go to our main sponsors, Money Corp and Enterprise Ireland, and also to our award sponsor, Mabit. I'd also like to thank our funders for another year of fantastic support. Both the Irish and Scottish governments have been committed to Causeway since its inception in 2016. A special mention to Jane McCulloch, the Consul General of Ireland to Scotland, and our team at the Consulate for ongoing support and advice, as well as John Webster, Sandy McPhee and the team at the Scottish Innovation Hub in Dublin, and Emma Shield, SDI, who we work with very closely when it comes to supporting the exporting of Scottish business into Ireland. As Jerry says, each year we support a worthy charity at our receptions. This year I'm delighted to announce our support to the Samaritans, and as it's coming up in all the presentations and chat box, please do pledge what you can throughout the evening. We've done very well so far over the last few days, so please keep that coming. Very much appreciated. Causeway is a core focus to protect and enhance the trading relationship between Scotland and Ireland. No matter the political or economic landscape, it's about providing an informal business platform that allows businesses to connect, communicate and collaborate. Yearly, many billions worth of trade is transacted bilaterally between Scotland and the island of Ireland. And many thousands of Irish people are providing skills and talent into Scotland, and Scots doing the same throughout Ireland. With the EU exit for the UK fast approaching and COVID-19 just destroying and ripping apart our economy, it is even more important that we pull together using the Causeway platform to protect these sorts of numbers and ensure that the trading relationship between Scotland and Ireland is maintained and possibly enhanced. What is absolutely key to our success over the last 4 years has been simply people. It's these people that make business easy. Causeway is a platform for growing opportunities and connecting business, and a unique attribute that runs through people in Scotland and Ireland is our willingness to talk and do business in the right way, sometimes even in a fun way. There truly is a strong sense of partnership, shared ambition, and a very similar trade, industry, and cultural focus. This year has been challenging for everyone, both personally and professionally. At Causeway, I'm so proud of the team. We've adapted at speed to the massive change in engagement with our members and target audience. In fact, we've delivered more events, reached more businesses, and provided a bigger platform than before. We've delivered 11 events so far this year, more than this time last year, and reached nearly 400 businesses, again, an increase on last year. So a massive thanks goes to the Causeway Management Board. Every one of them are volunteer in their own right with their own stresses and business pressures in their jobs. So a massive thank you to the Management Board. And also a special thank you to Aoife O'Sullivan, who's prepared this whole evening for us. Aoife joined us at the start of the year and is driving the change and activities required to stay innovative and current in challenging times. I'm delighted to see our programme for young professionals progress tremendously well this year. Last week, we introduced a fantastic new venture called the Professional Partners Programme. This is about providing a platform for young professionals in our network to be connected to more experienced leaders in business. I believe this will benefit not just the young professional, but I'm sure the more seasoned professional will also learn a thing or two from the young team. We've continued to build a very strong offering alongside our partners, the British and Irish Trade Alliance, with our joint membership, giving Causeway members an extended set of benefits to help them grow and connect. I think Paul Whitnell, the President of British Irish Trade Alliance, is here tonight, so if you get a chance, please do have a chat to him and try and uncover some real benefits to you and your business throughout the UK and Ireland. So tonight, it's a celebration of the unique relationship between Scotland and Ireland, the coming together of businesses throughout the target regions to meet again, uncover new opportunities and potentially do some business. Tonight is also to recognise a number of companies and individuals that have excelled this year in their nominated categories. So I wish all the nominees the best of luck, and I'm sure just being part of this event will have exposed your business to new opportunities or new connections. So please have an enjoyable evening with us. I'm sure even with the event having to move online, which is obviously very disappointing, but very natural in these times, you will have a fantastic night. So thank you very much. Have a blast, and back to you, Jerry.
David, thank you for that. Stirring words, the absolute epitome of the fireside chat. It's great to hear you there and talking about Scotland and Ireland and the connection. That's what it's all about tonight. We're talking about the Celtic nations and how they're coming together to create opportunities to network and to make connections. So we're going to get the next speaker up, and of course David mentioned her earlier. I'd like to bring her up now as well. Jane McCulloch is the Consul General of Ireland to Scotland. Prior to taking up duty at the Consulate General, Jane was Head of Integrity in the Passport Service in the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade. She has previously served in the Humanitarian Unit of Irish Aid, difficult for me to say, with a focus on the Middle East and in Protocol Division, working on state and official visits to and from Ireland. To add to that wealth of experience, Jane has also served abroad in Ireland's embassies in Denmark and Poland. Jane is from County Meath and first lived in Scotland as a student of St Andrews University. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Jane McCulloch.
Thank you very much, Jerry. It's always my pleasure to join a Causeway event and to participate in this enthusiastic, energetic, and effective network. In such a challenging year, we've all found ourselves adapting in new and evolving circumstances, and the collegiality, support, and shared experience that Causeway cultivates among its members has been especially important. Although we haven't been meeting in person, the fluidity of business and professional relationships between Ireland, Scotland, and Northern Ireland has not just been maintained, but amplified by the swift and impressive pivot of Causeway to online networking. I'd like to commend the management board of Causeway, and particularly the work of Aoife O'Sullivan and Bridget Horsky, who drove this shift so successfully. One of the most striking benefits of Causeway moving online has been having members and guests from across all these jurisdictions attending events together, making new contacts, opening new opportunities, and bringing commercial connectivity closer to all those involved. On a personal note, I'm delighted to see that the average age of Causeway membership has dropped considerably over the last few months. It's been very energizing to hear from young graduates and early career professionals. And last week's Young Professionals event was really very impressive. Having Scotland GAA join Causeway and linking with students and graduates in Scotland's universities is another great theme of smart, committed young people who are integral to the future of the Irish-Scottish relationship. I'd encourage you all to find out more about Causeway's Professional Partners programme and to introduce those you know who are early in their careers to the network. Working from home is a challenge for us all, but it's particularly alienating for those who are starting out in their first and early jobs. They don't have old fogies like the rest of us to bore them with our stories or to simply give them good advice when passing in the corridor. Just as Causeway hasn't been hosting in-house events in recent months, so the work of the consulate has moved mostly to the telephone and the screen. It's particularly challenging for a diplomat to spend the 60% of her time that she should be face-to-face with so many different contacts away from them. As many of you are aware, late last year, along with our partners in Scottish Government, we began a joint bilateral review of the Irish-Scottish relationship in all its richness. We had hundreds of conversations. We had more than 1,000 responses to our public online questionnaire, and we received many detailed submissions, including from Causeway. Thank you. We'd originally planned to launch the review in the spring, but like everyone else, we were interrupted by COVID-19. I think that I can probably get away with giving you a couple of tidbits tonight before the formal launch. The really good news is that the vast majority of the respondents to our public questionnaire feel really very positive about the relationship between Ireland and Scotland. And even more important to you in Causeway, 65% of respondents identified business and economy as being very important in the overall relationship between us. In addition to the work that we do together as governments, including excellent cooperation on technical responses to the challenges of COVID-19, we've strongly focused in the review and the report on links beyond the government. The recommendations that we've agreed to implement and will shortly announce are ambitious, and when you hear them, I hope you'll join us in realising them. I'm not really allowed to give away much more than that. We are planning to launch the report very shortly. So if you don't already, please follow us on social media. The Consulate General is at IRL Scotland on Twitter, and we'll keep you updated. But on a different note, I am delighted to confirm that the Government of Ireland, through our Emigrant Support Programme, is delighted to join again this year with the Scottish Government to jointly fund Causeway and the important work that this network plays in the business relationship between Scotland and Ireland. Thank you for continuing to support the relationship, Causeway, and we look forward to working with you for some time to come. If you're here tonight for the first time, I hope that you enjoy the night and find it useful too. And I'd encourage you to join Causeway and be part of this dynamic and increasingly diverse network. I look forward to meeting some of you virtually this evening and hopefully more of you in person before too long. Thank you.
Jane, thanks for that. As you said, dynamic and diverse sums up exactly what Causeway is all about. Connections, networking, and some positive news there as well. Absolutely wonderful to hear all that great news about what's going to happen in the coming months. And that the average age of the Causeway is going down, whereas the average age of the awards presenter goes up, but that's just how it is. And now we go across the Irish Sea and the other way to ask our next speaker to come on for us. He is Sandy McPhee. Sandy is Deputy Head of the Scottish Government in Ireland. His analytical skills have been utilised in a range of areas over the last decade, including the fields of education, rural and environment, as well as being heavily involved in the prestigious and successful 2014 Commonwealth Games, winning a Communicating Analysis Award. Since 2017, he has combined his duties as our man in Dublin with being Deputy Head of Innovation and Investment Hub. Born, bred and educated in Kilmarnock, and he does support the local team for his sins, Sandy is also a graduate of Heriot-Watt University. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Sandy McPhee.
Hi Jerry, thanks very much for that. Hi everyone. I'd like to start by echoing some of Jane's comments tonight. I think nights like this are really innovative, and it's a credit to Aoife, David and all the Causeway members that nights like this can still go ahead and we're having such a great evening. So thank you very much for having me along tonight. I've been Deputy Head of the Hub now in Ireland for 3 years, although this is the first time I've managed to make it along to the Causeway Awards, even though I know it's one of the biggest and best nights of the year. I'm sure the fact that I don't have to be in Glasgow with a drink in my hand in in a prestigious venue is completely unrelated to that fact. I send our apologies for our Minister for Trade, Ivan McKee, who unfortunately had conflicting business tonight. However, that gives me the great honour, as Jane says, of announcing on his behalf that the Scottish Government will continue to provide match funding with our Irish Government colleagues to support Causeway into the future. The work of Causeway aligns with the Scottish Government's export growth strategy. Partnership working with organisations like Causeway, as well as others in the relationship, are really key to helping Scottish Government deliver the aims of the export growth plan. As a Scottish Government office in Ireland, myself and colleagues on the call in Scottish Development International are here and available to help Scottish companies looking to export to Ireland or Irish companies looking to become established in Scotland. This past year, we've welcomed 5 new Global Scots in Ireland. Global Scots are a diaspora scheme, a worldwide network of almost 800 entrepreneurial and inspirational Scottish business leaders and experts who can offer support to Scottish businesses. As a statistician by trade, I had to put a couple of stats in. So in terms of the relationship, Ireland is Scotland's 6th biggest trading partner and accounts for nearly 4% of Scotland's total exports. So when we say the relationship is important, it's in that kind of context. And the relationship is stronger today than it's ever been. There are many strands of collaboration across the piece, as well as all the fantastic things happening tonight, as you'll see in the awards. I'd like to highlight collaboration in digital healthcare, as shown by Margaret Whoriskey and DHI's address to the Irish Medical and Surgical Trade Association. Arbeki's fantastic work in concert with Trinity College researchers in producing the world's first climate positive gin, the Scottish-Irish Health Partnership and the Scottish-Irish Migration Initiative. These are just some of the excellent examples of the value that the Ireland-Scotland relationship can provide. Causeway have had a real impact in their work in creating important city-to-city links across these islands. Causeway has committees operating in Scotland, Dublin and Belfast, and their work in these cities and bringing people together and innovating is really one that we value and are happy to continue to be involved with. I'd like to close by thanking Causeway for their contribution to the Ireland-Scotland Review, which, as Jane says, will launch next month, and more widely to the Ireland-Scotland bilateral relationship. We look forward to working with you in the future. With that, I'll hand back to Jerry.
Thanks, Andy. The bilateral relationship is what you talked about, and that's exactly what Causeway is all about. Folks, we've only been on the air about 20 minutes, and I'm getting a text here saying that the total donations are coming close to £700 in just 20 minutes. Keep it rolling, folks. That's what we want to do. We want to raise money for Samaritans. Thanks to Sandy there, thanks to Jane and indeed David for those inspirational and inspiring words that have set the tone for the evening. From my perspective, it's great once again to hear about the collaborations that are going on between Scotland, Ireland and Northern Ireland as well. As I've said, Celtic nations with a shared cultural and professional partnerships in action as well. Causeway, as I mentioned earlier, is also about connecting, bringing people together on both sides of the Irish Sea. Don't get too excited here, but we're just about to launch our breakout rooms. I'm going to advise you that we have some intimate networking about to take place. This is very, very simple. All you do is turn your video on, come off mute, and you will be invited to join a room of 5 to 6 people for a bit of chat and that golden word, networking. We're virtual. This is a virtual online awards, but in every other respect, this is an awards dinner. So what we want to do is you can introduce yourself to your table, i.e. your breakout room, what brought you here and what Causeway can do for you. So if you can imagine a drum roll here, I'm now about to say the magic words, and they are, Aoife, would you now open the breakout rooms?
Well done, Aoife. That was a real treat. It was really good.
Hi, sorry, I am here. I have screaming kids going to bed, so I had to
Oh, don't worry, Laura.
close the door. I'm like smiling at the camera in the background. So.
Don't worry, don't worry. We hope everyone enjoyed that networking session and got to meet old friends and perhaps make some new connections.
Yeah. Aoife, have you been part of organising? Is that right, the event?
Yeah, myself and Bridget
Brilliant.
and Siobhan, yeah.
Yeah, we wouldn't be here tonight for those. If it wasn't
Right, that's us all back on.
Lovely.
So am I back on, yeah?
Yeah.
You are indeed.
I'm live then, Aoife.
You are, work away.
The wonders of technology. Welcome back, folks. I found myself surprised to be in a chat room there, but it was absolutely brilliant in the breakout room, talking to Scots, Irish, everyone. There was even an Englishman thrown in there somewhere as well, which was good. So this is what this is all about. Everybody's connecting, even with a guy like me. So welcome back. That was interesting, fun, very novel way to celebrate and communicate with old connections, and hopefully for a few of you new ones as well. So we are approaching the awards themselves now, but just ahead of that, it seems appropriate to hear a few words from our sponsors, Enterprise Ireland and Money Corp. So first of all, I would like to introduce from Enterprise Ireland, Deirdre McPartman.
Thank you very much. I'm delighted to be here this evening, and Enterprise Ireland is absolutely delighted to be the sponsor of the Irish Exporter to Scotland Award. For those of you who don't know Enterprise Ireland, we are the Irish Government Development Agency responsible for working with Irish companies on their innovation and their internationalisation agendas. Full compliments to Causeway. I think keeping these awards going in a virtual way earns real kudos, and really congratulate you, because I think it's so important for us to recognise success. And you know, just because we've gone virtual doesn't mean that for the Irish companies who've been exporting to Scotland it's been any easier. So actually celebrating, even in previous years, the effort involved in going to a new market, building a business, understanding a market, understanding your customers, and partnering with people on the ground, that should be celebrated every year. Enterprise Ireland is winners whatever happens, because actually 3 of our clients were shortlisted, so we're really delighted with that. And we have no favourite children, and they are 3 outstanding companies. So there's kind of a theme running through them when I saw who was shortlisted, and that cuts across kind of environmental protection and impacting on citizens' lives. So Ex-Ocean, you know, with their unmanned surface vehicles, you know, looking and monitoring the seabed for energy companies in a carbon neutral way. Archway Products, who work with 14 local authorities, and you know, looking after road maintenance and repair. And by God, does that actually affect all of our lives when we drive into potholes, or not, if Archway is on hand. And then Denalto, who are in that Internet of Things space, helping the Orkney Islands monitor their data and save on energy costs. So for us, as I said, no favourite children, we're winners. But thank you all for your time, and hope you all have a lovely evening. And best of luck actually to all involved.
Well, Deirdre, thanks very much. And again, thanks for your sponsorship from Enterprise Ireland. And can I just echo those sentiments that you said about Aoife and the team putting this together? It's magic to me. I can't get Channel 4 on my television, and yet somehow here I am speaking to all you guys and hosting an evening of celebration, connection and networking. Okay, it's time to hear from our second sponsor tonight, and he is from Money Corp, and he is Niall Handy.
Good evening all, thanks so much for having me. I just wanted to say a few words on behalf of Money Corp. We're delighted to be co-sponsors for this year's awards, and as is now the norm, we're meeting virtually, but as Jerry said, there's no reason to stop us having a drink or two. Just a very brief overview of what we do here. We help businesses manage foreign exchange rate fluctuations. So we try to remove risk caused by international markets events, and we're currently experiencing three big ones. We've got Brexit, COVID, and the US election. So, you know, all these things move the markets, and it's our job to try and help businesses formulate plans and strategies, you know, that suit them, and come up with something that works. We're headquartered in London, but we have significant operations around the world, and tonight those key ones are obviously from Dublin. I think Rich is on. And since April last year, ourselves here in Edinburgh. Personally, I've been in Scotland for a long time. We've got a couple of kids here, they're well in school, so I've been here for a while. And as a Leinster man in Scotland, it's pretty easy for my kids to decide which rugby team they're going to support, but I'm not too sure that when I'm not looking, or whether when they're in school, they're still supporting them, but yeah. For Money Corp, I cover the Scotland and Northern Ireland region, and so with our Dublin offices, you know, we cover the whole of the island of Ireland too. So you can see why Causeway, and indeed my dual membership with BITA, again Paul was on there earlier, I think you can see why it was a perfect fit for myself and for Money Corp. So I want to say thanks to Causeway for continuing these awards events virtually, and for having me. It's been a great year, albeit a bit strange, and that's it. Thank you so much for listening to me, and a very, very good luck to all the nominated companies, all well deserved. So yeah, thanks very much. Sláinte.
Thanks, Niall. As you said, it's very much the fit that your company is involved with such an organisation as Causeway. You might have seen flashing up on your screen there, we're now up to £710. I'm going to bang the drum unashamedly for Samaritans Ireland and Samaritans Scotland. You know that you can donate online, or you can make a pledge in the chat box. Please do so, and thank you for your generosity so far. However, we've come to the moment that you've all waited for. It's time for the award ceremony. Okay, I would say that if you're shortlisted, then you must ensure that your video is on, and be prepared to mute off. Should you win, and apologies for not being able to get the actual awards out to you, but they will be posted forthwith. So as I say, ensure your video is on if you've been shortlisted, and be prepared to mute off if you get the award winner as well. So the first category is the Innovative Organisation Award. Now, this award recognises organisations that have shown ingenuity and bravely applied new approaches to their strategies, and has been sponsored by Causeway corporate members Mabit. Shortlisted in this category are for their pioneering work in digital transformation and building information management in both Ireland, Scotland and around the globe, integrated facilities solutions. For the commitment, courage and creativity of founder Charlie Winton, who turned his own personal battle with anxiety into a startup business-to-business mental health application to help others, OK Positive. And for the inspiring collaboration between the digital healthcare teams in Ireland and Scotland that turbocharged the delivery of the NHS Near Me HSE Attend Anywhere video consultation and other programmes, which were key components in the healthcare response to the coronavirus crisis and recovery going forward. That is the partnership with NHS, NSS and HSE and the Empower project team. To tell us who the winners are, I would like to invite from Mabit sponsors, Geraldine Boylan.
Thank you very much, Jerry. Hopefully everybody can hear me. So a couple of words first. Mabit, we're a safety, environment and engineering consultancy, 25 years old, just about, initially an inward investment by a guy called Arthur Mabit, who is a global Scot and has actually came from Boston in the States into Scotland, into Glasgow to set up headquarters. And as I was just saying, the breakout room, we've had Irish operations for a long time now, headquarters through our Belfast operations, which is mainly because actually our staff kept falling in love with people from Northern Ireland, ending up in relationships. So we thought, actually, we're just going to open an office here. It's just simpler to do it like that. So, but we have vastly enjoyed the partnership opportunities and also the export opportunities in terms of sharing knowledge, partnerships, and transferring technology and kind of know-how as well into the different sectors, which has been fantastic between Scotland and Ireland. I kind of bat on both sides because my mum's Irish and from County Leitrim, so there we go. But anyway, we do a lot of work around many things, and obviously the climate agenda is so massive at the moment. And one of the things we do a lot of work around is something called circular economy. So in Ireland, it might be how you would refer to making things last. In Scotland, it's what goes around comes around. So it's making things last, getting more resource, more bang for our buck. So we are delighted to be closing the loop and to be sponsoring and presenting this award tonight, because last year we were a Causeway Award winner ourselves in the export category, with a contract in particular with Bud Beer that we do around origin green and verification. So it's a really interesting one for food and drink companies across the whole of Ireland. We do the verification of the sustainability plans. So with what goes around comes around. This award is a fantastic one, really strong people who put their award applications forwards. And innovation is just what everybody, I think, has been looking at doing. We're talking about the Brexit world, we're talking about the COVID world, and we're also talking about climate change being the next big thing in terms of net zero emissions. So, I mean, our innovations have included things like delivering training, but using a virtual classroom. And these innovations and the combination with technology is something which comes out of the award winner tonight. So, the moment you've been waiting for, I am delighted to announce that the winner in the Innovative Organisation of the Year, as sponsored by Mabbit, proudly, is a partnership with NHS, NSS and HSE and the Empower project team. Congratulations.
Oh, I'm assuming I am unmuted. I thought I was going to get an award there for being the first person to be told you're on mute. So thank you. I'm delighted, actually. I really am chuffed, because I was just saying to Bridget there in the breakout that it almost kind of epitomises exactly what we want to do. You know, and it epitomises why Causeway's there and why some of the other connections aren't. Everybody we're hearing from is talking about, oh, I've got Ireland in my background, I've got this, I've got that. It's fantastic. You know, as somebody with a family from South Dublin, to continue that theme, it is a delight. And it really did show what's important about the connections between our two countries, because it was delightful. There's two of the people who actually were on the ground, Elaine and Wendy, are in the audience tonight. And Wendy expressed it perfectly in the breakout, which was the openness, the transparency, and the fact that the Scottish colleagues in NHS, while they were fighting COVID and they were trying to get their own video-enabled care up and running and rolled out, that actually they still took time out. Not just time out to support the HSE work, they also did it in the north as well. They did it with the two trusts we're working in. And it's really fantastic to see that it's recognising the value of the project that was already there, that helped to open the doors. So genuinely delighted to represent a group of about 40 people and about 15 to 20 different organisations behind it. But yeah, genuinely delighted, and congratulations to Elaine and Wendy as the representatives on the ground and doing so much good value. Dare I say the Emperor Gals, which wasn't my phrase, but they are indeed, and they were fantastic. So thank you very much for the recognition as well.
Alan, don't be running off there. Let me just ask you a quick question. You must be delighted that you picked up this award on behalf of the team, because obviously this initiative came together very, very quickly in the face of the virus.
It did, yeah. I mean, Wendy was kind enough earlier to say that Scotland was slightly ahead in terms of this, what we refer to as technology-enabled care. And we're a few years ahead, and it's nothing to do with anything better or different or not. It is. But what's the value is that it was the openness to share it. And that was the origination behind the Empower project, which is there to help introduce technology and well-being to people over 65 with long-term conditions. And it's kind of saying, actually, we're all in that same boat. we're all trying to tackle things. And actually, you know, the HSE on the other side of the project with social prescribing and that whole thing about connecting healthy and connected communities and individuals, they were years ahead of us. So it does show that difference, if you can bring a bit of humility to it, that there's some value in just exchanging and having an open exchange as well. So yeah, definitely, I do appreciate those words.
That's fabulous, Alan. From a negative, we get a positive. It's absolutely brilliant to hear that you've won this award for the Innovative Organisation Award on behalf of your crew. Guys, I would ask you if you would all like to come off mute for a moment. I think a round of applause is in honour here of the winners of the Innovative Organisation Award, which is the partner with NHS, NSS, and the NHC, and the Empower Project team. Well done. Well done, Alan and the team. Thanks very much for that. We move on to the second award now, which is the Social Impact Award. Now, 2020 has been extraordinary and challenging. As someone said to me before, it's been unprecedented use of the word unprecedented in these unprecedented times. But it is great to have so many great organisations shortlisted for this particular award. The award recognises organisations who have demonstrated resilience and utilised their position in their organisation to bring about positive change in their community and environment. So, the nominees are for this. For producing the world's first climate positive gin, Nadar, and their huge efforts in driving climate positive innovation globally across the drinks industry, it's Arbiki Distillery. For their incredible Football for Good campaign, which has helped Scottish and Irish diaspora in Scotland, Ireland, and indeed beyond, helping those in communities most likely affected from the COVID-19 crisis, it's Celtic FC Foundation. For their exceptional work to tackle the causes and consequences of homelessness, in particular their emergency response to support communities during the COVID-19 crisis, it's the Cyrenians. And finally, for their bold ambitions to raise standards of leadership in the island of Ireland and beyond, and their impressive growth and reach in just 2 years, it's Lift Ireland. I would ask from Causeway Management Board to tell us who won it. It's Bridget Warrisey.
Good evening, everyone, and I can say I am so glad that I wasn't on the judging panel for this award, because I think every one of those nominations could have won. It's an amazing category. But it gives me great pleasure to announce that the winner of the Social Impact Award for 2020 is Cyrenians.
That's amazing. Thank you very, very much indeed. I'm really blown away, because having seen what my the others in the categories were, they're incredible things. So thank you so much. It's really, really brilliant to have our work affirmed in this way. Thank you. I'm really quite lost for words, and that, for those who know me, is pretty unusual. So, but thank you very much indeed. What this will do will remind my colleagues, we've got 150 staff and 900 volunteers, that their work is valued, and the difference they make is people have seen it, and we're able to get beside folk who are in really tough realities and help them get to a space where it's into a better set of circumstances. And we do that by just getting beside people and help people discover in themselves they have the ability to bring about the transformation in their lives. And it's been tough through COVID, but we've got there through the support of a whole bunch of people, including the Causeway, who gave us money last year as your charity of the year. So listen, thank you so much. I'm really, really chuffed and really proud and humbled by this award.
Well, you of course are my breakout room buddy.
Absolutely.
We were chatting earlier, and I said to you, hands up. I didn't know anything about Cyrenians last year, and I've learned a great deal about them. This is a fantastic award, because it just shows the dedication that you guys have put into this.
Yeah, and we had to completely transform our services. So we changed our training kitchen into a production kitchen, and brought in some chefs who were on furlough. And we geared up to, we were delivering 1,000 meals a day. We shifted food, we redistribute surplus supermarket food, and we shifted from 40 tons a month to 250 tons a month. and we were with a group of charities who got 700 people who otherwise would have homeless into hotels, and now we're working on getting folk into out of those hotels into accommodation so they don't have back on the streets. And my staff have been absolutely incredible, but we've been able to do it because we've had support from government and from business to enable us to do that. So yeah, it's been tough going, but it's been absolutely brilliant to see people galvanizing and saying, who is my neighbor and who is the stranger, and how can I treat them as the way I would want to be treated were I in their circumstance. And that's been phenomenal and really uplifting and inspiring.
Well, you once again, congratulations to everyone. You've summed it up very nicely there. We'll come off mute once again and we'll show a round of applause for the winners of the Social Impact Award, and that is Serenians. This gives me a chance to segue into a really nice charity announcement. We're up to £840 now for Samaritans Scotland and Samaritans Ireland. So thank you very much for that. But keep it coming. Thank you very much. Move on to our third award, which is the Scottish Exporter to Ireland of the Year. Now, this award celebrates a business from Scotland that has made a big impact through their exporting to Ireland activities. In partnership with Scottish Development International, I am pleased to announce the shortlist is as follows. For changing their strategy and approach during the COVID-19 crisis and partnering with Dublin Retail in Motion to offer safe virtual trolley technology and experience to the aviation market, it's Blue Box Aviation. For providing e-learning educational technology in literacy and numeracy across Ireland and Scotland, and in particular helping us to provide digital resources and webinar training to teachers in a variety of languages, including Irish and Gaelic during the COVID-19 crisis. It's Giglets Education. And for continually developing their product in a growing international market and nurturing their strong relationship with their Irish export market, it's Nairns. I now call upon the Deputy Head of Scottish Government in Ireland, Sandy McPhee, to tell us who the winner is.
Well, as a Kilmarnock man, I'm delighted to announce the winner of this category is Giglets Education. Can I pass to Carsten Karcher to say a few words, please?
Thank you very much. I'm really delighted and very, very proud for Giglets Education to win this award. We have grown as a business in the last few months. We were very fortunate to have been awarded UK innovation funding, as well as Scottish Pivotal Enterprise funding for the work we are doing. And in case you wonder about the background behind me, that's something we've created in-house in our team as part of one of our stories. It's an adapted version of the legend of Knockmany, and it shows the Giant's Causeway. And we work, as was very kindly summarized in advance, we work in Scotland, we work in Northern Ireland, we work in Ireland with schools, and growing literally every day now. So delighted to do our contribution, and now delighted that we've been given this award. So thank you very much.
Kirsten, first of all, thanks for clearing up the background picture. I was wondering if you were at your beach house in Northern Ireland somewhere, so I'm glad you were able to put us to mind on that. Listen, tell me this, how long has Giglets Education been going?
We started as a digital publisher in 2011. And then we, through winning Scott Edge, an investment that we put in ourselves and grow the business, we converted about 4 years ago into an EdTech business. And focused initially on Scotland. We're doing a lot now in Wales. We're proud suppliers also of the Scottish Government, the Welsh Government, as well as bodies of the Irish Government. And we, with a charity, decided to then work internationally, and without any marketing budget now whatsoever, we operate in over 60 countries worldwide.
That is absolutely fabulous. Listen, congratulations once again to you, Kirsten, and the winners of the Scottish Exporter to Ireland of the Year Award is Giglets Education. Folks, I'd ask you to come off mute, and a round of applause is in order.
Thank you.
And now very much vice versa, it's the Irish Exporter to Scotland of the Year. This is in partnership, as we heard earlier, with Enterprise Ireland, so everyone a winner as far as they're concerned. I'm pleased to announce the shortlist to this is for their pioneering Roadmaster product and for providing an essential service throughout the COVID-19 pandemic in keeping UK and Irish roads risk and damage free so that essential workers can continue to travel safely to work. It's Archway Roadmaster. An Irish early stage company providing IoT solutions and assisting the Orkney Islands on a journey to become smarter, greener, more sustainable and better connected. It's Donalto. And an ocean data company that maps the seabed and provides environmental monitoring through a safe, economic and carbon neutral solution platform across the shores of Ireland and Scotland, and they are Ocean. I will once again call upon the Consul General of Ireland and Scotland, Jane McCulloch, to tell us who's the winners. Jane, thank you.
I'm delighted to announce that the Irish Exporter to Scotland of the Year is Archway Roadmaster. Well done.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hello, can you hear us?
Yes. Hi.
Well
I
done. Congratulations, Brian.
We were playing a bit of technical ping pong with the mute button there.
You're not the only one. How are you, Brian?
Good, good, good. What can I say?
Congratulations on you winning the award for Archway Roadmaster. Tell me just a wee bit more about the company, please.
Yeah, based in County Leitrim, run by the McNamee family. Liam, who was the owner and the inventor of the Roadmaster, was started in the farm industry, farm manufacturing, and then had a great idea about people producing potholes, and then produced a Roadmaster machine. And I think pretty much Scotland was the first UK market, and is a very big commercial important area for ourselves. We sell mainly into the local authority markets, either directly or through their contractors.
Well, certainly speaking as to someone that drives along Scotland, I know what the potholes are all about, so you're doing a tremendous job. And of course, as was pointed out there, you know, people forget this, it's an essential thing so that workers can get to travel safely to work in these times of pandemic.
Yep. And we've, it sounds strange, but this year we've been lucky, or we've benefited from our own innovation, because the COVID pandemic has played into our hands, because our machine is pretty unique in that it's a single operator machine. So we have one guy in the cab driving a HG vehicle, putting repairs out onto the highway, and because the social distancing built in, it's played into our hands, as I say, and kept the highways open for many of the local authorities.
That's brilliant, Brian. I hope you go on many more years to master the road for us. And just to say congratulations for winning the Irish Exporter to Scotland of the Year award. And I think a round of applause is in order as well, if you could come off mute, folks.
Congratulations to the fellow nominees too.
Thanks for that, Brian. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our final award is the Inspirational Leader Award. This is always a highlight of the Causeway Awards. It's the final category, as I say, and it's a wee bit more special because it's shortlisted and chosen by Causeway Management Board. And because of that, I'm going to call upon the host chair of Causeway once again, David Greenlees, to tell us more about the winner. David.
Thanks, Jerry. Yes, I'll give you a bit of background to why this award. I'll announce the winner, and then I'm going to give just a bit of background as to why we chose this winner. So this award, which has been cut directly from the stones themselves, is a special award. It's been voted for, as Jerry says, by the Causeway Management Board, and is aimed at an inspirational business leader that excelled in business this year within our Causeway jurisdiction. The Management Board considered a number of inspirational business leaders for this award, and there was a good few that we really fought over, but one stood head and shoulders above the rest. So I'm delighted to announce that the winner this year is not only because of her business commitment and success, but also for the leadership, skills she's shown in her endeavours to further Irish culture in Scotland. So the winner this year is Noreen Hughes. And you will be receiving this award as soon as I can get it posted to you, Noreen. So congratulations there. So before we speak to Noreen, I wouldn't mind just giving a bit of background as to why Noreen is a very worthy winner. So Noreen is Managing Director of Rainbow International Glasgow East, a disaster recovery and restoration business where she took over the day-to-day running of the business in 2010. Let me just summarise a few recent achievements. Now, during lockdown, her team donated PPE to local hospitals and also started COVID cleans and bacterial contamination, including taking on the hugely difficult job of decontaminating businesses, funeral parlours, and even private homes that had had a COVID death. Noreen has led her franchise, Rainbow Glasgow East, to become one of the most experienced and successful in the Rainbow network, and has won many national and local business awards. Not only is Noreen running a very successful business, her passion for Gaelic sports has led to an active involvement in the GAA Scotland, where she sits on the county board. Her commitment to Irish culture is such that she also finds the time to be secretary of this very successful St Patrick's Caholtas Cultura Era in, do you like my Irish, by the way, in Coatbridge, as well as treasurer on the CCE Scotland Scottish Regional Committee. So congratulations, Noreen. Causeway is delighted to give you this award. Very worthy winner. So Jerry, if you want to take it away with Noreen.
Hello, Noreen. How are you?
I'm really surprised. Thank you so much, guys. It's a really great accolade, and I'm sure there's so many other worthy people that could have won this, so thank you.
Well, many congratulations to you. My first question is, when do you find time to sleep, Noreen? Because your commitment to the culture and the Gaelic and the business in itself.
Someone asked me that today. I've just actually had an inner matrix done on myself to see what my personality traits are. We're going through it. The question was, he said, if I don't mind me asking, and it's a bit personal, how many hours do you actually sleep? And I was like, right. He said, you're so busy. How do you find time to so yeah, I do manage to catch a few hours now and then, Jerry.
So it's a personal commitment to the cultural thing as well. But tell me a wee bit more about the business. That's obviously been going, touchwood, very good for you.
Yeah, yes, it has. It's obviously been going since 24th year, almost a quarter of a century old. And we started off in fire and flood restoration, working for most major insurers and housing associations, local authorities throughout the central belt of Scotland. So we work in sort of biohazard decontamination cleans, and obviously as a result of COVID, a lot of people were like, I think we were all the same at the start, oh gosh, I don't want anywhere near it, I'm going home, close my door and don't anyone come near. But obviously as an essential worker, we had a duty of care because there was banks, nursing homes, funeral parlours, where they had outbreaks, and if someone didn't step up and carry out the work, well, there would have been a lot of essential workers not able to undertake their duties. So I'll be honest, sat down with all my staff, said, obviously we don't know what the risks are here. We've got all the normal vaccinations to known diseases, but obviously not COVID. So I had a really, great bunch of, my staff are fantastic. I wouldn't be where I am without my staff. And they all stood up and said, no, we'll help out. We'll continue to work through COVID-19. And they did. And, this award is as much for my staff as for me, honestly. They're a great bunch of people.
Yeah, you must have a great staff to work with you if you're going to come up with this, because we talked earlier about, with Archway Roadmaster, about a negative becoming a positive, and that's clearly what this is.
Yes, it has, and it's the one thing, obviously, it's shown me about, COVID, it's obviously here, still here, everyday life's affected, that, people have stood up to be counted, and, from people or NHS colleagues, people that went out and worked through all of this, I really applaud them, because it was tough at times.
Congratulations once again. Ladies and gentlemen, could you show your appreciation, please, to the Inspirational Leader of Award this year as per Causeway, and it's Noreen Hughes. Well done. Well, thanks for that, Noreen. Congratulations, of course, to all our finalists and winners. And as I said earlier, apologies for not getting the trophy out to you, but they will be in the post. We'll prize that one away from David. And yes, David, I was very impressed with your Irish pronunciation from a guy who spent 3 weeks trying to work out how to say Aoife, and now I'm on that, so I'm close to you as well. So that was great. It's great to see the awards. Very humbling to see how people were. It's just brilliant to see everybody so happy about that, and the round of applause was very much a good thing to see as well. We're going to have a wee musical interlude. I'm going to tell you first of all before that the Samaritans reminder now, we're up to £840. You can still donate online. You can pledge in the chat box. That is an amazing sum to be raised. We have a wee comfort break coming up from you. I want you to sit back, relax and enjoy some music. Please leave some comments in the chat box if you fancy it. This is coming from Malone's Bar, Edinburgh and Glasgow. Yeah. We have a young singer-songwriter on video here. He's from County Leitrim in West Island. He's influenced by rock, country blues and acoustic pop. He was a Voice of Ireland finalist. He's based in Edinburgh, and he is Craig McMorrow.
So the music tonight is being sponsored by Malone's. Malone's been really good to us over the last few years, and especially in the last couple of months with everything that's going on. A lot of the musicians around the city have been doing some live streams from their page to try and, well, number one, keep them sane, number two, keep them playing, and number three, try to earn some money when everything's closed down. So big thanks to Malone's for sponsoring, and thank you to the Causeway Awards for having me on this evening. Well, I don't know if you can see changes that come over me. These past few days I have been afraid that I might drift away. I've been telling old stories, singing old songs, make me dream about where I came from, and that's the reason why I'm so far away today. So let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me. Now I'm going on. But if I should become a stranger, you know that would make me more than sad. Caledonia, you're everything I've ever had. Well, like more than a life kept on moving, prove the points that I needed proving. Lost some friends that I keep losing. Found others all the way. Well, I kissed the girls and I left them crying. Stolen dreams and there's no denying. I travel far, sometimes conscience flying. Somewhere in the wind. Let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me. Now I'm going home. If I should become a stranger, you know it would make me more than sad. Caledonia, you're everything I've ever had. Well, I'm sitting beside the fire, empty streets in a forest fire. Things that could not got any I'm better now than gone. But I'm steady thinking that my way is clear. And I know now what I will do tomorrow. The hands will shake and the kisses flow. The mind will disappear. Oh, let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me. Now I'm going home. And if I should become a stranger, you know it would make me more than sad. Caledonia, you're everything I've ever had. Oh, let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're everything I've ever Enjoy the rest of the evening, folks. My name is Craig Morrow. Thank you very much.
Absolutely fantastic there from Craig. You can go onto Craig's website and check out his music. As it said, it's a mixture of folk, country blues, a bit of rock in there as well. Absolutely superb. As Ben Slater and Geraldine Boylan were saying there in the chat box, really, really miss live music. Check out that young man. He's going places. Guys, we're almost at the end of the evening. It's been absolutely superb, as always, to reminisce with you about last year, talk about the future, and to hear all the great work that's going on and see these fantastic awards being given out to deserving causes. But of course, everyone that gets shortlisted is deserving as well. However, I just want to remind you one more time that we also have a charity tonight. This is really, really important to us, that we're raising money for Samaritans Scotland and Samaritans Ireland. And just to give us a wee word about that, I would like to introduce from Samaritans Galway, Marini.
Hello, I was just trying to unmute myself there. I would like to thank Causeway for choosing Samaritans Ireland and Samaritans Scotland as your charity for 2020. We're very grateful because, of course, COVID-19 stopped most of our fundraising events. And it's great to see the money coming in and also to raise awareness, which is just as important for us. So we operate a 24/7 listening service. Both Scotland and Ireland have the same number, which is 116123, which is a free phone number. And in Scotland, there are 19 branches with 1,000 volunteers, and it stretches from the Scottish borders to the Highlands and the Islands, where Samaritan volunteers come in and do listening shifts in their local branch. In Ireland, we have 20 branches in the island of Ireland and 200 volunteers, and that reaches from Belfast to Kerry. So this is just one sentence from one caller that called and posted what it meant to her. So she said, "Calling Samaritans gave me back my voice. It gave me the space I needed to talk," and that was Adrienne. So our vision in Samaritans is that we might live in a society where fewer people die by suicide. And in the next 15 minutes, somewhere in Scotland, England, Wales and Ireland, 2 people will try to end their lives. And every 6 seconds, somebody contacts Samaritans for support. And I volunteer in a branch in Galway in the west of Ireland. It's a town of about 100,000 people. And we have 1,000 contacts every week from people looking for support. People contact us for lots of different reasons. Isolation and loneliness is a huge one. And you can be isolated and lonely in the middle of your family if you're going through a really difficult time. People with mental health issues, financial problems, relationship issues, abuse, mental, physical and sexual, a physical illness, bullying, you know, or anything that is causing somebody distress. One of the things we do with all our contacts is we explore suicidal feelings. And of our callers, 20% would be experiencing suicidal thoughts. So it's something that we do talk about. There is intense training for a Samaritan volunteer, and we learn how to be active listeners so that we can support our callers. And some stark statistics are, I suppose, that suicide is the biggest killer of men under the age of 50 and of young people between the ages of 20 and 34, the biggest killer. Suicide rates in 2019 have risen both in Ireland and Scotland. So it's something that, you know, that is vitally important. And what Samaritans offer is a safe space for people to talk and to be listened to. We don't judge them. We give them space to talk about whatever is bothering them. We don't give advice, and that seems to help them. So it's a very worthy charity, I think. And it was lovely to hear the numbers totting up all the time and going higher. So I would like again to thank Causeway. And just to remind people that our free phone number is 116 123. Volunteers come from all walks of life, and people from all walks of life as well contact Samaritans for support when they're going through a difficult time. So thank you again.
Well, thank you, Mary. Sobering thoughts and sobering words. In this time of global pandemic and the coronavirus, Samaritans more important than ever. And yes, Mary, the numbers are totting up. We're up to £950 now. I'm fairly sure we can get it across the £1,000 mark. We've reached the end of the evening. A lot of people said we couldn't do it, but somehow we managed to do it, and that's thanks to Aoife and a superb team. It's been an absolute pleasure to host this from my spare room, as you can see. And yes, I am fully suited and booted. Somebody sent me a text. The full suit is on. I'm not wearing the shorts. So there you go. It's been great to be here again tonight. I'm so proud to be involved with Causeway and to see the amount of work that goes on and to see the positive business that's coming across from Scotland, Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. I just want to close now by inviting the host chair of Causeway, David Greenlees, up to say the final comments. David, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jerry. And this has been a fantastic night. It's exceeded expectations in terms of how it's flowed. Never going to match, you know, face to face, but you know, we're doing the best we can in the current circumstances. However, I just want to end with a kind of rallying call, I suppose. As I've mentioned earlier tonight, the power of people is key to the success of Causeway. And I'd like every single person here tonight to think about who else could benefit from this platform or network. Ideally, if everyone recommended, you know, 3, 4, 5 individuals or companies, just think of that shared knowledge and opportunity that we could all benefit from throughout the Causeway regions of Scotland, Ireland and Northern Ireland. We have a new colleague that joined us at Causeway, Suzanne Eze. Suzanne is leading on building a strong and robust membership for us all to benefit from. I'd expect Suzanne to be in touch with you all to uncover new membership opportunities and ways for you to take as much out of your membership as possible for you personally and for your business. I hope you enjoyed this evening. Our online approach is what it is, and I congratulate everyone involved, not just from the management board at Aoife, Bridget, Siobhan, who've worked incredibly hard to do this, but everyone attending tonight. And you know, there's European games on at the moment, so I'm not sure of the scores. But I hope you enjoyed tonight's online approach. We can reconvene, fingers crossed, face to face next year on the 3rd of June. We have got a booking at Edinburgh's Assembly Rooms. So it seems far away, but you know, hoping we can come out of this and meet again once more face to face. So best of wishes for the remainder of the year. Stay safe. Congratulations to all the nominations, all the nominees, and of course all the winners. and have a great night. So thank you very much and take care.
And can I just add that the total is now £1,130 and growing. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thanks, Bridget.